What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Breakdown Show. Yes, I'm in a new area today, and obviously, last night we had the second game of the Greatest Rivalry Tour, and what the game it was from the All Blacks, and I must say, they looked absolutely amazing at Kings Park against the Sharks. Obviously, the Sharks, they had a new shirt, a new logo, and that was impressive to see as well. Obviously, before that game started, we had the Haka, and we had the iconic moment of Nonu. After the All Blacks did their Haka, he went and done the same, and I thought that was absolutely amazing to see. The former All Black player and the former two-time World Cup winner Nonu. I thought he made his impact in that second half. He didn't have much to gain in that second half, but I thought he was absolutely brilliant, and he made a couple of good carries as well. But unfortunately, the Sharks, it was one too much for them against a team like the mighty All Blacks, who I do think it's going to be close to their first team that they will pick for the Springbok Test matches. But obviously, we had standout performances from the number 10 from the All Blacks, Ruben Love. How great was he for the All Blacks? His boot was absolutely amazing with the boot, and he was on point with the goal kicking as well. And then alongside him, Kyle Preston, he controlled the game from the back at the ruck, and his feet to the backline player was absolutely good as well in that number 9 jersey, and he had a brilliant game as well. And then the man of the match, Jordie Barrett, what a game that he have in that number 12 jersey for the All Blacks. I thought he was brilliant in his first game in this Greatest Rivalry Tour, obviously. And we didn't see his brother, Beauden Barrett. Obviously, we had Ruben Love. But what a game that Jordie Barrett have. He was absolutely brilliant. And Damon McKenzie, he showed why he's a world-class number 15 in that number 15 jersey for the All Blacks. Obviously, for Nick Hatton and the Sharks, there were a little few positives in this game, and obviously it was a youngish team that JB Peterson did choose for this game against the All Blacks, and it was always going to be a tough task for them going up against this mighty All Blacks team. But I thought stand-up players in their team were obviously the captain Nick Hatton, and he had a brilliant game, and then Siaya, he also had a brilliant game in that number 15 jersey, but unfortunately, the experience of the All Blacks did come into play in that second half especially, and the All Blacks also had a couple of good tries in that second half from Damien McKenzie. Also, Almua, the hooker, he was absolutely brilliant. He had a couple of good carries as well in that number 2 jersey for the All Blacks. But guys, I do think this will give the All Blacks lots of confidence going into the match against the Bulls and the test matches after that. I do think a guy like Ruben Love, probably we will see him maybe get the chance against the Springboks in one of the test matches. I do think he played his heart out for the All Blacks, and what a game did he have. But guys, let me know, what did you make of the match between the Sharks and the All Blacks in the second game of the Greatest Rivalry Tour? I would love to hear your thoughts and your comments down below. And obviously, the All Blacks, they got a convincingly dominated win at Kings Park against the Sharks. Obviously, it was always gonna be a tough task for the Sharks in this one, and they had a lot of young players in this team. I also do think a guy like Luan Gillamy in that number 22 jersey in the second half from the bench, he was absolutely brilliant. And then also a guy like Ivan van Zyl, we had some more good carries from the Sharks in that second half when he came up, and he brought some intensity to the game as well. And I thought Ivan van Zyl, he was brilliant as well for the Sharks. Obviously, I do think in that first half, the Sharks were a little bit predictable on attack. They did a couple of carries, and then a guy like Bradley Davids would go for the box kick, and I thought he did it way too much. It was becoming too predictable for a team like the All Blacks, and I do think that also is a thing that cost them in this game. But obviously, it was always going to be a tough task. But guys, thank you for your support. That is it for this one. And remember to hit that subscribe button for future rugby and greatest rivalry content. We've got lots of rugby to look forward to in the next couple of weeks, and I simply can't wait for it. Obviously, later this week on Saturday, we will have the Bulls up against the All Blacks at Loftus Versfeld, and stay tuned for my team announcement videos for that game. Obviously, the team will come out later this week, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Guys, thank you for your support. Thank you for all your messages down below. I always appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button for future rugby content, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.